Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LCK 2020 Summer Promotion Tournament, our final promotion tournament ever in the history of everything ever.
Wow.
We are never doing this again. This is the last one. And so far, Team Dynamics lead against SANDBOX, and SANDBOX had one of the worst drafts that we've seen in a really long time, and didn't play it very well either.
No.
Just nothing worked.
It was not a good look for them coming in, to be totally honest, right? We talked about it before, this is a spot in the LCK for Summer, but it's also a huge opportunity for the organizations that want to apply for franchising, because you get a cheaper spot if you are in the LCK already. So they're playing for like $2 million, as that is the difference in the price. And Team Dynamics CEO sitting back, feeling pretty happy right now after game number 1. SANDBOX, can't really say the same about him.
No.
As Beyond looks a little bit stressed, but
yeah, just trying to sort his glasses out, I guess.
Yeah, after game 1, I wouldn't be very stressed at all, because that was probably the easiest game of his life. And
absolutely a clinic.
I do not want to see Kennen again. Please.
No.
Please stop.
But also, like, the thing is it's not only just poor drafting, but it was also letting Team Dynamics have, like, all of their most comfortable champions. Like, Kuzan has always been a fantastic LeBlanc. Rich, it's been outspoken everywhere that he is the best Aatrox in Challenger, and was able to pick that one up again and had some great team fights on it. Like, FaZe is 7-0 now on the Aphelios. He shouldn't be allowed to play that champion.
Yeah.
And they first picked Trundle and let him get the Aphelios
with Graves
so
open.
Easily. Yeah. And then easily counterpick the jungle with the Graves pick, like, straight up in the draft.
Yeah.
Like, it was, I don't know.
Yeah, it's SANDBOX not having a great understanding of where the meta's at right now, and Team Dynamics on the opposite side, to give them credit, having a great understanding.
Yeah.
And knowing, as you were saying, that if you're going to let us have all of our comfort picks that work really well together, well, okay, we'll just pick that draft then. Thank you very much. And basically what we're saying, guys, is there needs to be a difference here in game number 2. Otherwise, Dynamics might be going to the ship, to the winning match tomorrow.
Possibly able to even get to the ship in Summer as well. We'll see how Dynamics do if they do ever make it there. But that is certainly getting a little bit ahead of ourselves as we move into the draft. SANDBOX now on the red side. That might help them. That might allow Summit to get himself a decent counterpick option. As, wow, those bans came through very quickly. Maybe there was some lag? I don't know.
What? Yeah, maybe Aatrox. Focus from
maybe your first pick Aatrox is going to come in.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised, given the teams and given the players. I know it would make LS very sad, but I don't think it's a bad idea. Well, I don't know if it's a bad idea or not, but I think it is going to happen.
Yeah.
As Thresh gets banned away once again, they really don't want to play against Gorilla's Thresh. And so that will be taken off the board once again for the second time.
Yeah, it was actually exactly the same bans from Team Dynamics, despite the fact that they are now on the blue side. SANDBOX with 4 seconds to go, thinking about what they want to take off the board. And it will be the Graves to be banned away. Last time it was Kalista, so we'll see whether Kalista is going to be locked away. But no, Aphelios is up again. Let's see whether we can make it 8-0 for FaZe.
Yeah, they're just going to go ahead and first pick that. Now, Varus is off the table, but Kalista is still available. And I wouldn't be surprised if they go for Kalista Taric or Kalista, I guess Thresh is
Kalista
banned.
Trundle.
Yeah, well.
Ooh, no.
The Aatrox priority.
There we go.
There
it's
it
through
is.
the roof right now. Valdez, you got exactly your wish. There is the very early round on the Aatrox as Beyond says, well, time to teach you how to play the Trundle. Yeah, and he is going to lock that one away.
And I suppose it makes a little bit more sense because the Graves is banned this time around, and you were talking about this in game number 1. The Flex Lucian between Kuzan and Rich. Obviously, the Lucian can do pretty well into the Aatrox already, but they have the option to go ahead and use that for mid if they so desire, as both players are great on the Lucian.
Yeah, now Fate thinking about taking the LeBlanc himself. He can also ban some things away if he wants to. Try and keep that matchup as good as possible. think likely to see something like a Kassadin be banned away here. Kuzan, of course, been playing for a very long time, was certainly around during the many Kassadin metas. Not sure whether he's played it so far this season. We'll have to find out.
Kassadin has not been picked by Kuzan.
He's played Malzahar, though.
Yeah, he's played 3 games of Lissandra as well.
Well, that is certainly an opportunity. An option into the LeBlanc as the Zoe's going to be taken away. Rek'Sai also going to be banned here as Dynamics look to make sure Beyond is as comfortable as possible in this matchup. Now the final ban. I wonder whether it will be that Lissandra that Kuzan has played so much of and to good success.
Yeah, Azir, another option, another big pick for the side of Kuzan, and it would offer them a nice amount of scaling and range, which I feel like they're definitely missing so far when Aphelios doesn't have the right guns. So
yep.
I think that is an opportunity that Kuzan might actually go for. Obviously, the LeBlanc is pretty good into the Azir, but just compositionally. But we'll have to wait and see, because Azir also really good against Aatrox, so we'll see what they decide to go for, but for now, it's just going to be 2 focus bans on the jungle on Fleek here. And let's take a look. So the Taric wasn't banned, which I find interesting, but they might not even pick it up, actually. They're considering Braum.
I think that the Taric would be by far and away the better choice. And that is going to be locked in. So there's Kalista Taric for the bottom lane. And what do Team Dynamics pick to round out this this roster? I'm expecting the Lucian to be top lane, so we're looking for mid lane and support, likely, unless that is support Trundle and Guga does something weird. As Lissandra that you were talking about, going to be hovered for the moment. It looks like Kuzan's happy with it. He's going to lock that one away.
Yeah. Now, the Azir provided range and the ability to have a pretty nice late game, but the Lissandra, I feel like, is pretty good into the composition of what SANDBOX have already. It's very, in your face, forward. It's like a typical SANDBOX draft already. So they're like, hey, Lissandra's great into that, right? She has great potential to just sit back and defend against any kind of push like that. And also, very nice pick, actually, with the Bard coming in here. But the Lissandra with the passive, once you get those kills and the frozen dudes start coming out, it's great for doing that AoE damage right in your face against a composition that's in your face all the time. Bard also fantastic at disengaging and isolation, so I feel like it is another great pick that goes well with the comp and is good against what SANDBOX has, as the final pick will be the Gragas.
Yep, that's going to be on Fleek in the jungle.
He looked pretty happy about that. He was laughing at his arms up in the air.
And I like how the Gragas works in this comp as well with what Team Dynamics want to do. I mean, they want to peel for the Aphelios all day, every day, right? And Lissandra's going to be able to do that, Trundle as well, with Guga being able to mess up the battlefield. But as can OnFleek now on this Gragas with his explosive cask. So let's see who's going to be able to make this one work better. SANDBOX with a far more SANDBOX draft this time around, and not looking as bad as what it was in game number 1. But still, I think I'm very happy with what Team Dynamics have put together. I really like the Aphelios and the Bard on the bottom side of the map. That's going to be really fun to see. And Rich is now on his Lucian that this team is so famous for utilizing between himself and Kuzan. Could be a rough matchup there for the Aatrox unless the Gragas is going to get in there to try and lock down some early kills. So let's see how this early game goes and whether OnFleek can turn around what was not the greatest performance in game 1.
Yeah, will be interesting to see, as both of these compositions are going to be running straight at you, especially SANDBOX's comp here. Very in your face and pretty obvious about what they do want to do here, whereas Dynamics do have some more opportunities to disengage and do stuff like that, as we are going to hop on the Rift here for game number 2.
Yep, making our way out as Dynamics. Let's see what they can do to make sure this one is going to be that easy 2-0 like they were talking about towards the end of their last match. As we were checking out the pro view, of course, they were pretty outspoken with how comfortable they were. No, come on. It's the wrong Bard skin again. Needs to be Snow Day Bard. Where's the cup of cocoa?
I could go for a cup of cocoa right now, actually.
Me too.
Oh,
Me
man.
too. Maybe it's good that he doesn't have the cup of cocoa skin, so we're not getting too ready for cups of cocoa instead of concentrating on the game.
Yeah, I don't know. The weather's getting warmer out here
Yeah.
in Korea. It's actually really nice, especially because COVID-19 isn't super serious in Korea right now. It's a great time to go out and hang out outside. And it's been nice, but still, I could go for a cup of cocoa.
Yeah, it's like turn on the air conditioner really hard,
Yeah.
and then just drink your cup of cocoa. They're perfect.
Sounds very wasteful, but nice. It's a lot of armor taken there by Summit in his, what do you call those, secondary runes, the small runes.
Just on the runes is probably how I'd say it.
The Rooney Doonies, as the Australians say it.
Yeah, we definitely say that. Yeah, 100%. Let's see how this lane goes. See whether it is going to be finally FaZe's time to get a loss on this Aphelios. As far as how this matchup works, I think it's probably absolutely fine for Dynamics, especially given the fact that they do have the Enchanter support in the Bard. Should really help them be able to get some advantages here, but you can see Gorilla already dazzling his opponents.
It's outrageous.
It is.
What he's able to do here on the Taric. So aggressive. Now trying to push for level 2. It looks like Googer and FaZe are going to hit that first.
Yep, Onslaught going to come out here from FaZe just to do some extra damage to both Root and Gorilla. But Googer doing a decent job at being able to avoid these pierces and extra bits of damage that Root can put down. Very even though right here as good Cosmic Binding comes down onto Gorilla, who gets himself a very long ward through that wall. And will spot Beyond moving up the river. And OnFleek going to be able to get through his jungle before he has to deal with any of this troll shenanigans. Beyond still playing aggressively as they do understand exactly where both of the junglers are on both sides.
Yeah, it looks like the Trundle went blue, Gromp, red, and he was able to hit level 3 because of that and get in the face of the Gragas. And with that cheeky ward that they put down on the red of Gragas, they knew he was starting over there, so that's what enables Beyond to get in his face and steal some of the wolves away. As mid lane, we're not really going to be seeing much ganks, but there's going to be a lot of noises made. Very noisy mid lane.
It's been a while since we've seen Lissandra. I think we saw her in a couple of games in the spring season. I wasn't commentating them, I don't think. And she just makes a lot of noise on the Korean client. As now, maybe for good reason, as there's the flash and Fate picks up the solo kill First Blood absolutely beautifully in the mid lane.
Yeah, Kuzan looks like he got hit by the chain, and before he knew it, he was in kill range, and obviously he did not know that was possible, so nice little solo kill picked up there from Fate. The two junglers were nearby, but not able to have any effect on the lane, as it is just going to be the solo kill gold going over to Fate. Not much else will change there, as now OnFleek's looking for a gank.
Yeah, Rich could be in trouble here. We'll see whether he has a Relentless Pursuit, gets the extra movement speed. But he's going to get slowed down. Fair bit of damage there onto OnFleek as Rich holding onto his flash for a very long time and flashes the knock up there from Summit. So keeps himself alive, but still successful gank there from OnFleek topside. This SANDBOX is looking much better than the previous version in Game 1.
Yeah, they're very aggressive. I liked what Beyond was doing early on, just shadowing him, but we're going to take a look here at the solo kill. Kuzan. It's just very straightforward. I mean, he was desperately trying to push in the wave a little bit, but I think in that position when you're that low, you got to call over the Trundle and try to help push the wave with your jungler. As it was a risky maneuver that he went for, and he got caught for it. He got penalized for it with the death.
Yeah. A little bit bopped there in the mid lane, but still, Kuzan going to be winning in farm quite considerably this stage of the game, and that should be able to keep things pretty even. And as you can see, topside of your screen, the gold is slightly in favor of Team Dynamics. And that has a lot to do with the top side of the map now being owned by Rich, who's halfway towards taking his first turret plate up here as well. He went back, got himself a Vampiric Scepter, so he'll be able to keep his health bar very, very topped up. And as far as these lanes are going, looking great for top and bottom for Team Dynamics, and it's just that death for Kuzan that's really putting a blemish on how they've played this early game so far. Let's see where Beyond is going to go as this game continues. So far, around this bottom side, thinking about a Mountain Drake. But Shelly's going to be up relatively soon. We'll see whether she's going to be the next focus.
Team Dynamics, a very loud team. We already talked about Lysandra, but
Yep.
Trundle is also, the Korean Trundle is really fun.
That's true too.
He's always got a really dry throat, you know? It's like he needs to go to the doctor and get it checked out. He's very raspy and hoarse. But I love the focus on the objectives that Beyond has been going for with the Graves and now the Trundle.
I like the Magical Journey being used as well, as Kuzan might have to use his ultimate on himself as the Mountain Drake is taken. Magical Journey gets them over the wall without a hiccup. Fate's going to move back to mid lane, but Rich is rotating over as well. We'll see whether Beyond can actually find any ganks here as On Fleek going to get taken low. Body slams his way through the wall, and Dynamics take the first Mountain Drake. Next one going to be a Cloud in 5 minutes' time. And that means that we are going to have a very spicy Drake for our Dragon Soul, either the Infernal or the Ocean.
I think the Infernal would be the really spicy one. I think both of these comps can use them so well, especially SANDBOXes, obviously, with their very red composition. And the Ocean would be pretty nice for, you know, the Lysandra Trundle, decently tanky front line to just survive against what SANDBOX are bringing in terms of aggression, as Beyond just won't give up. He's just in the face of Gragas the entire game. He has been since that early trade.
Well, you can see Rich not trading super well with Summit here as the chains do land, but he breaks them. But a few of those Qs do land. Rich going to go back home. See whether it's Bilgewater Cutlass and some daggers or something like that, or whether he can complete boots. As he does go home. Not actually deciding to, as he's going to stop. Noticing that Summit is going to be ping-ponging that wave. There's Root taking a bit of damage there. FaZe with a big collection of chakrams, doing a fair bit of work. And I'm just going to be so perplexed if this is just once again Dynamics moving towards another Aphelios game win. Because it just shows that SANDBOX obviously didn't really respect what was certain comfort for this guy in the AD carry position.
Look at the way that Rich is playing this. I love how he didn't flash early on before. But now he's actually pushing it back into the Aatrox. So he had a little bit of a freeze there. Denied some of the kills, some of the XP, but decided that he'd rather put on the pressure. I suppose that does make sense for a lane that is Lucian's. But I feel like he could have denied a little bit more in the freeze.
Yeah.
So not doing LS too proud there, but sending Beyond up, perhaps wants to get priority on this objective instead of just focusing only on his lane. So at the end of the day, should work out pretty well for Team Dynamics, as this game does feel a little bit, once again, like Jungle Difference. As game number one absolutely was that.
Yep. And not being able to revisit Rich, his flash is going to be back up very, very soon, as On Fleek's going to make his way in. Does have Predator popped, but now Summit is going to be the target. World End for the extra movement speed, but Kuzan makes his way in. Ring of Frost is going to lock him down, and the Aatrox should fall as Dynamics grab their first kill. There's the Tempered Fate, but doesn't actually land there. Cosmic Binding is good, though, as Gorilla has to flash over this wall. Fate's still in the pit, but it is going to be the Rift Herald once again taken by Team Dynamics. Beyond, very, very good at locking down these objectives so far. Has only let one go in this whole series. And that is 3 out of 3 Rift Heralds for Team Dynamics thus far.
And really it was just Summit getting caught that stopped SANDBOX from having a chance of picking up that objective. Everybody else was in the pit. They had pretty good positioning, but I think it was lack of vision that Summit just walks a little bit too far forward. He doesn't respect the Trundle. Yeah, they don't have vision. Beyond's like, no, I'm going to catch him as he's coming in. Rich already had his eye on him and was probably calling for it, so overall, good vision denial and a bit of a greedy / risky play from Summit to go in there. It did look really silly, but I think it was more than just, oh, Summit making a bad play. It was like denial of vision, and he felt forced to be the one to, you know, flank on the Aatrox. That's what you do, right? That's what he was going for. So Pretty unfortunate, but a good play there from Team Dynamics. They pick up that Rift Herald, and they're going to get this early game going once again.
Yeah, we'll see what that Rift Herald is actually going to be utilized for last time. Oh, actually, no, I tell a lie. SANDBOX were able to lock down, I believe, Shelly in the first game because they used it mid lane. We'll see whether that is once again going to be where she goes. Rich unfortunately missing that CS, but will be able to get the remainders and continues to have that 20 CS advantage on this Lucian on the top side of the map. It's a fun team comp out of Dynamics this time, but it is going to take a little bit more finesse to make it work. Last time it felt like they were just able to very comfortably play front-to-back League of Legends and win team fights. This time they're going to have to be a bit more tricky with how they utilize things. As teleport, double in fact, coming down towards the bottom lane as Cosmic Radiance going to buy a bit of time. Root gets himself underneath the turret. Moonlight Vigil does go wide. Exhaust onto Rich, who has to flash immediately. That's a great barrel onto FaZe, who now is in amongst 5 members of SANDBOX. Does a fair bit of damage before going down, but does exactly that. And it's 2 for nothing in the re-engage. Summit will be able to find one onto Kuzan as well as Guga gets flashed on. The Cosmic Radiance is, Binding is fantastic. As Summit's going to go down very low, but otherwise is going to be able to get out alive. And 3 for nothing as Team Dynamics start a fight that they weren't able to win.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. Oh man, I can understand the aggressive teleports trying to go for a pick. But the second the Cosmic Radiance comes out, you can't dive the turret. The enemy team is going to have double teleport. You should know that. And then the second they pull the trigger, I don't know, what the call was, but everybody's like, yeah, let's dive the Cosmic Radiance 80 carry. Like, once this happens, you just gotta back away. You have to respect the teleports. But they dive the turret, everybody gets out of position, and it turns into a total fiesta. Yeah. They're gonna give away the Dragon as well as 4 kills to the side of SANDBOX, as we're seeing a little bit of that, maybe some challengers.
Yeah, some challenge
coming in.
Tendencies happening here.
Like, that was just not a play that you would very often see in the LCK. As we're gonna see, saying it's two of them on the TP. You have ult right. Go Lucian, go Aphelios, no flash.
Well, we're straight back into a fight here as Fate going down relatively low, but Gorilla turns up. And Shelly is going to make her way into this mid lane. We'll get that charge, delivers a bunch of money over to Kuzan and beyond. That will help Kuzan save himself from what was a bit of an awkward start to this game. 2 deaths already on this Lissandra, but she will just do her job. It's just whether Fate is going to be enabled enough by the extra money coming into his pockets. With, of course, that solo kill earlier on and that last team fight that worked out so well for SANDBOX. It is Ocean Soul this game. Both of these teams have the opportunity of a 3-stack. And yeah, she just makes so much noise.
The Trundle's right next to her, like. You don't even get to hear his voice lines. Those are the craziest ones.
No.
Where he actually speaks and sounds like he, woke up from a pretty harsh night the night before.
They need to make a Soju Trundle skin. Just for the Korean client.
The pillar's just a giant bottle of soju.
Yep. I mean, we've got Brolaf, all right?
True.
Surely we can have, like, a Soju Trundle.
Yeah. Not a bad idea. I think that's our second skin idea of the day.
Yeah.
We had, what did we have earlier? I forget what we had.
Yeah, no, that one's done. I just went Soju
It wasn't
now.
good enough.
Yeah,
like,
no. Cancel
if we
that.
don't remember it, then, yeah, just cancel that one.
Well, Beyond has been waiting in this brush for a very long time. As Summit moves on up. That's a great pillar out of Beyond, who flashes to deny the exit of the Aatrox, and they are going to be able to take him down now. This turret should be taken as well. Dynamics, good job being able to grab kills and take objectives off the back of it.
Yeah, it's good proactivity to be up there. I think that Summit probably should have had a ward down there. It's going to be a trade on the map, as of course with 2 players up on the top side, SANDBOX will find some luck in the bottom side. Mid lane is, I mean, you can see the health of Lissandra's turret. It's Lissandra. With TP, you're not going to push into that with her AoE weave clear. And so Kuzan has been, as you mentioned, he died twice, but he's still, doing a decent job afterwards. to keep up in the farm and make sure that his turret is healthy.
Yeah. Also, Lissandra's always going to do her job, right? You know, I don't think you're too worried about
pretty
Lissandra
straightforward.
In this game as far as falling behind, because of course the ultimate is why you really utilize this pickup. We'll see how much better he's going to be able to play as this game goes on. Because of course, if you talk about scaling, I feel like Tarek scales extraordinarily well and will skew this game a little bit into SANDBOX's favor when we get to late game team fights where everyone can get into that cosmic radiance. But Kuzan can buy so much time. I mean, also the Trundle, the disengage potential that you have with this pick, also very strong as OnFleek gets into this brush, but FaZe, he's here in position. It is stolen there as OnFleek does have to go golden. Gorilla taking a lot of damage though, as the Cosmic Radiance is not going to arm in time and he is going to fall. Kuzan goes golden there in the back of the pit as OnFleek. He also uses his stopwatch. Moonlight Vigil avoided based on that one, but FaZe still able to grab that kill, and now Summit trying to run away from Team Dynamics, but everything was taken as far as the objectives by SANDBOX.
Yeah, SANDBOX are going to pick up Shirley. We have mentioned that, of course, with turret plates down, Shirley can be a pretty meh objective. It gets you some good lane pushing around objectives, so maybe if OnFleek can spawn and drop it mid and move over to the Ocean Drake, that could be nice, but definitely the 2 kills are going to get this snowball rolling for Team Dynamics, as it was a nice stun, actually, from Guger before OnFleek went for the play. And Gorilla was a little bit too far forward. Note also Kuzan zoning out 2 people alongside Rich, as they weren't able to get in there and help out OnFleek and Summit. And after that, it was basically just a separated team fight that SANDBOX were just trying to disengage from. So Dynamics will come ahead with the gold, and actually there wasn't enough time to drop a Rift Herald and go for a rush towards the Dragon or anything like that. So it is going to go the way of Team Dynamics here.
Yep, stacking up their first Ocean Drake, pairing it with the Mountain that they had earlier. Mountain Drake actually going to be pretty good here for Team Dynamics. Even Kuzan going to be happy to have those extra stats to help bolster things like his Aftershock. As Beyond and FaZe now clear out this minion wave as well. Gorilla going to get pillared. He'll be fine. Q lands. Fair bit of extra poke here from FaZe actually. As Fate looks for the chains, doesn't find them. That auto attack goes very, very far. It doesn't quite land the moonshot, as the Calibrum was recently sheathed. And we've got FaZe cycling through those weapons, as we know. Outer turret taken bottom side, and it's 1-3-1. It seems to be the aim of the game here for Dynamics, as both Lissandra and Lucian pretty good in a 1v1 setting.
Yeah, it's similar.
Sorry, in a 1-3-1 setting.
Yeah, it's similar to game number 1, too. You remember they had the Aatrox LeBlanc. And so this time they have Lucian, Lissandra, that both have TP. Same thing. And it really does feel like Team Dynamics are comfortable in that kind of play style. So, although I feel like SANDBOX are definitely in a much better position in this game compared to game number 1, we'll have to wait and see. I'm excited to see how this game is going to play out. Obviously, they would have liked a little bit more farm on the Aphelios, I suppose, is up against Roots Callista. He is falling pretty far behind now, but at least they do have the Lucian that is doing a pretty good job up in the top side with the double 80 carry plus front line that is Lissandra and Trundle.
Yeah, Rich is super far ahead at the moment on this Lucian. We'll see where that Black Cleaver is going to be, how soon that's going to come in here for Team Dynamics. As FaZe able to clear out these mini waves very, very quickly, and will be able to do so even faster once his Renounce Hurricane does come in. Of course, that Zeal will be turning into one of those. And Root going to be doing the same. Of course, has a less expensive option, so he's very close to that Renounce at the moment, as he got to build just the Blade of the Ruin King in comparison to the Infinity Edge that FaZe managed to pick up.
We're just chilling once again. It's a little bit of a lull state with Ocean Drakes coming up every 5 minutes, which will be where we'll get the majority of our entertainment.
Yeah, we'll see what Guga's going to be able to do. I think the Tempered Fate is going to be very, very impactful to try and secure these objectives.
Yeah, I really loved the Bard last pick into what SANDBOX were showing. Because SANDBOX, with their first 4 or even first 3 picks, they were already showing their cards face up on what kind of style they wanted to play. And because SANDBOX is so predictable, it made it even easier. And Dynamics were like, hey, you know what would be really good? A mage support that's great at disengaging.
Yeah.
And great at isolation. And that's exactly what they went for with the Bard. So I was very happy with that last pick.
Fade looking for Guga, doesn't get him.
I thought maybe I was going to cast her Curse in there.
Yeah, straight away. That's okay. He's going to survive. No stopwatches or anything, but does have a Shirelia's Revelry. Meep slapping people around as well, as there's the tower falling in the mid lane, but now Summit off to the side. Rich trying to run out of this one, does so. Cosmic Radiance does nothing. And now we have a minute and a half until this Ocean Drake is going to be next on the menu. We'll see whether Gorilla will have that ultimate available in time.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate there. It was like a game of chicken. You know, you don't want to cast it too late and then have one of your teammates die. You don't want to cast it too early like that and have a Team Dynamics just disengage as they did. And so big cooldown on cooldown.
Yep.
And I think he should have it in time for when they do fight around the Ocean Drake. So that should be decent enough. But yeah, probably not going to have... It's going to be close. I don't know. He might be like 10, 20 seconds off of it, but then maybe they, wait a little bit before they actually do hard engage for that. But until that time, I guarantee no action.
Well, Guga's going to make his way back to the mid lane, but of course it's FaZe here to pick up all of this CS. Pulled it back to within a 20 CS gap, as on Fleek just trying to get some vision down in preparation for this next Ocean Drake. Soul Point available for Team Dynamics as Root is going to get pillared. FaZe dishing out a lot of damage as the Cosmic Radiance, not going to be used yet because of course still halfway through that cooldown. 6 seconds until the Ocean Drake does spawn. Gorilla going low, but he's going to be able to keep himself alive with those heals. Summit also off to the side. World Ender in hand at this point, but the Drake is being taken low. Barrel coming on in. It's now Fate finally getting into this fight. There's the Moonlight Vigil, and the Barrel comes down as well, but they're not able to get into this pit, and it is going to be that Ocean Soul Point. Rich tearing apart the LeBlanc, but meanwhile up to the back end FaZe, getting all that work done. And this is how Team Dynamics wanted this team comp to work.
That looked like a Mega Death Inferno Bomb or whatever Zig's ultimate was.
Super Mega Inferno Death Bomb?
Yeah, the amount of AoE damage that came out there, that was a perfect engage from Kuzan. Bunched them all up, slowed them all up, and then immediately FaZe is like, hold my beer, I'm going in. I'm diving face first into this one. And immediately 3 of them were just blown to pieces as if they did not exist. Team Dynamics, their positioning every single Dragon fight has been better than SANDBOX's. They corralled them into that little corridor. You can see Summit was desperately trying to get an angle. And at the end of the day, it was just great team fighting here from the Team Dynamics.
Yeah, let's have a look at it once again. Keep your eye on Kuzan. I was watching
this.
Rich towards the top of your screen, but yeah, in goes the claw, and the Barrel unable to deny Kuzan. Yeah, that's a lot of damage.
They had it in slow motion, so it felt like it was 200 years to get through this replay. But we did see that FaZe showed us the real 200 years right there. As the redemption, it was hard, because you feel so tempted to go into that brush with the Ocean Rift. But at the same time, when you're going up against Lissandra Aphelios with his AoE, generally not a good idea. As we did just see there, SANDBOX learned their lesson. And at this point, Dynamics in a really nice spot now. Aphelios is catching up with that extra kill and assist. And as you mentioned, Rich is doing a great job of isolating targets.
There's the Caster Curse. Love it. Absolutely fantastic stuff there, Brandon. Valdez,
thanks,
Rich in the death chamber instantly.
God, Rich. It's League of Legends.
Yeah, beautiful.
Not Heroes of the Storm. You can't really 1v5 in this game.
No. Although I don't think you could really do it in Heroes of the Storm either. So.
You probably survive longer than that.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah. Didn't look very rich there. But yeah, it's pretty unfortunate that he does get caught out there. As you can see, he's just a great engage actually from on Fleek. I don't think you can face check brushes with the amount of engage that SANDBOX have. And he got punished for it.
The problem is that they get nothing from it, right? Like,
true. Yeah.
There was no Ocean Drake to look for. Tempered Fate comes down here, gets a distortion out of Fate. Probably not the trade that you want. Tempered Fate onto Fate. Oh, God. This inner turret now going to be the next one to be taken down. That was one Baron missing. That's actually a good thing here from SANDBOX. I guess we didn't factor that part of it in. As Beyond now going to get belly bopped, but On Fleek taking too much damage there as Rich zoning them all out with the culling. Now Root trying to get in there. He's hopping around. Gorilla dives on in as well. Cosmic Radiance lands, but it's just Gorilla and Root that are unable to be taken down, and the Kuzan is going to get in. Summit now as well. Underneath this turret, but can't get anything back. That's a triple kill so far. Make it a quadra for FaZe, who's now going to move towards some inhibitor turrets and look for Fate to see whether he can lock down that pentakill. 10-5 is the kill score, and it looks like Team Dynamics are going to move to the next round very easily up against SANDBOX.
That should be it. Fate is going to try to come in here and give the Penta away. Let's see if he's successful.
Yep, we're going to look for it. FaZe is going to... Oh! Guga, what the heck was that? That's Guga the Goober to the rescue there as On Fleek now has to go back to his fountain, and the Nexus is going to fall. SANDBOX, one last chance to get themselves back in. If they can't win the next best of 3 that they have, they are out.
Wow, there you have it. The focus onto FaZe, well-deserved. His Aphelios was quite stunning in that game, but it did come down, I think, in that one to a, once again, better team performance from the side of Team Dynamics. They look like the LCK team in comparison to SANDBOX right now with
100%.
The way they are playing. That one Dragon team fight was all it took to open that game wide open. And as you were talking about, you know, the Gragas Flash, it doesn't really get anything. Rich respawns, and then he doesn't have Flash for the next team fight, and he baits his whole team into dying in the mid lane to end the game really quick. You got to be careful about, you know, expending summoners, or at least you have to play carefully after that, as he did not respect the Trundle on Fleek in his own jungle. As you can see, Root was also he was so desperately trying to hop around and 1v9, but just wasn't meant to be.
No, this was not the SANDBOX that we were expecting to show up here today, unfortunately. But in the back of my mind, I had this idea that these two challenger teams are really, like, definitely contenders up against Griffin and SANDBOX. I'm not sure about Griffin. They turned around their performance towards the end of the season. So looking forward to seeing their best of 3 up against Sorryball Gaming, which is going to be after about a 30-minute break, guys. But damn, Team Dynamics really coming out swinging here in game number 1. We'll see whether Sorryball Gaming is going to have the same thing. A lot of familiar faces over on that squad as well, as you may remember Kakao, as well as Sangyun in there also. I think Nova is support for that team. I'm trying to...
I think so.
Just double
Sounds
check.
right. Yeah, it's Nova and Sangyun.
Yeah, Nova and Sangyun bottom side of the map. So, yeah, certainly some familiar faces. Their mid laner used to be called Fiesta.
Yeah.
So that is going to be fun.
Now he's Dan Chung.
Dan Chung. It actually sounds like pretty alpha, to be honest.
Does it? I don't know. It just sounds like a random like dude that lives in LA.
I guess I was watching him and he had like 18 kills on Galio mid, and he was just like heroic entrancing as a guy called Dan Chung, and it just seemed really alpha to me.
True.
But maybe that was just his gameplay.
It's like Chuck Norris or something. Like.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. But that was really satisfying for me. The play from Team Dynamics. I thought their drafting was great. A couple of hiccups here and there.
This being one of them, yeah.
Yeah, the other one was the double teleport into diving a Cosmic Radiance in the bottom lane.
Yeah.
But outside of that, just really clean, straightforward play. Some good playmaking from Kuzan in this game. I think that, you know, there's a lot of focus on the Aphelios player in this kind of game, but it was more so Kuzan's engages. And even Guger's Bard play I thought was really great too. So
I think they just played well as a team, right?
Yeah,
I think everyone had their moments. I think even some of the pillars out of Beyond were absolutely fantastic.
Just ignore this.
Yeah, please don't watch this particular fight. This was definitely bad news, Bears. You can see what they were trying to do, right? They wanted to set up to try and take the Drake after going for a potential dive. I don't even think they really wanted to guarantee kills or anything, but yeah, in the end, SANDBOX were able to read the Blacker Book and answer back very nicely. But I mean, this straight into turret being taken, This is what Dynamics were doing way better than SANDBOX. They were getting kills, but they were then transitioning them into other advantages elsewhere on this map. Good steal here by OnFleek, but unable to actually win the team fight in the end. And this was the beginning of understanding exactly what Dynamics were going to be capable of with a composition like this.
Gotta love it. Shutting down the mono-red aggression.
Yeah.
With a very blue composition.
The
so
LS
much control.
Yeah, the catharsis for LS right now.
I hope he was watching
high.
this game because it was we were punishing sinners tonight. That's for sure. If I can take a page out of his own book, and it was
a lot of repenting.
Really nice.
A lot of repenting in order here for SANDBOX for sure. Dynamics were indeed the Saints.
Why is OnFleek engaging there?
Well,
can you provide me a good answer? Because I don't think there is one.
the Cosmic Radiance was very late there also. And this team fight was just
Go forward.
내가 줄게 옆에서 계속 봐줄게 내가 나 힐 있어 그라가스 공 없다 나와도 그라가스 노플로고 그라가스 문 안에 있어
They're calling out summoners.
천천히
Slowly. They're very focused as a team. They're not losing it despite 2-0ing an LCK team.
써
I mean, remember, this is their third promotion tournament in a row, right? Finally able to get themselves a Match1 win. They haven't been able to do that in any of the others. They only ever beat challenger teams if they won a game in the promotion tournament. So the first time they've done it so far, third time events of asking for Team Dynamics. And yeah, FaZe did a lot of damage, guys. He did over double his opponent. Pretty impressive performance.
That's what happens when you group up against the snowballs that Aphelios is throwing at you. I know they're supposed to be fireballs, but they look like snowballs to me.
Yeah, the little Infernum balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, they started singing at the end, and FaZe is a very, he's very giving. He wasn't angry about losing the Penta either. He just said
didn't
nice.
Pull a ruler this time around.
Yeah. He didn't curse at anyone or anything like that.
Sorry, we're getting a little bit of a message here from our producer. It was just a bunch of Zs.
Yeah, FaZe does look like the youngest player in the lineup, so maybe that's part of the reason.
He's the
didn't
only.
Want to complain to his youngs.
I'm pretty sure he's the only rookie that's on this squad. Actually,
he's great. Though.
They
he's
pick
really
out this
good player.
Reminds me of Hybrid, man. Like these really aggressive 80 carries, fresh from solo queue.
Yeah,
just shooting people where they can. Everybody else, though, I mean, you've got Genji for Kuzan, and of course Rich and Beyond, who played for MVP for so long. Guga from Kongdu Monster. And now we've got Team Dynamics moving towards the winners match tomorrow. That is going to be a best of 3, and if they win that, then they're just auto-promoted straight into the LCK. If they lose it, they will have to play that final best of 5 for the last remaining spot.
And I don't know if you feel the same way, but I feel like they're hoping that Griffin can make it through. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. After seeing the power of Team Dynamics, I'm like, well, Sarabal is supposed to be stronger than them, right? So, how is that even possible after what we just saw? And SANDBOX, I don't know. They look kind of hopeless after getting dunked today in this first matchup, 0-2. Not sure what to expect from them tomorrow.
Exactly. I'm not sure what to expect from Griffin as well. Some surprises, perhaps, when it comes to the rosters. I think you might recognize potentially one of the supports. It's always good when Europeans move into rosters here over in Korea. We don't have very many of those
European
imports.
talent.
Yeah, European talent in the LCK hasn't happened all that often. But of course, Wadid is going to be on Griffin. Whether he's playing or not, we'll have to find out after about a 30-minute break, guys. It's not going to be the standard 8 p.m. KST start. We're just going to get right into it. So we'll see you in about 30 minutes for that next matchup. Don't go anywhere.